Now then, people, welcome back to another episode of Bosh.
Oh, we've got some tasty recipes for you today.
These are all from our Living on the Veg TV show, and we're going to start with a creamy seaside pie. It's fishy, but it's vegan. And
closely followed by something that is very delicious, big bad nachos.
With the ultimate chili. Then we're going to make a cake out of a burrito.
And then NYC cheesecake.
And everything's delicious. It's all plant-based. You are in for a right treat.
Yeah, man. And I tell you something, we made this for a young lady who goes by the name Prue Lee.
This is our creamy seaside pie, right? So we're going for like a kind of Cornwall fish pie. But of course it's vegan. Everything we make is plant-based, but this has got all the flavors of the sea.
Yeah, we recreated the flavors of the sea because we've used things that you would associate with the sea, like lemon and nori and caper brine and white wine and things like that.
And these mixed mushrooms, right? So went for those oriental kind of mixed, varied mushrooms. They're going to kind of replicate fish and different kinds of fish.
Because a true fish pie has things like cod and haddock, and it has prawns, and it might even have scallops in there as well.
All of that
so there's loads of different textures, and these mushrooms are the perfect thing to recreate their textures.
But of course, we don't eat fish, so we're going to go for mushrooms. They're high in vitamin D, high in fibre, and we don't know for a fact, but they may have come from outer space.
Yes, if you don't know about that, go and research it. And if you really want to get into a really cool hole, go and research stoned ape theory.
But the less said about that, the better. So now we'll add some peas to this pan and a bit of parsley, and actually we've got a nice creaminess going on thanks to some oat cream or soy cream.
Peas and parsley and mushrooms and flavour all together, it's gonna make a wonderful pie.
Now, we've made a mash before. We love to make a mash. Potatoes are basically our lifeblood. But for this one, we're gonna add some soy cream. We're even gonna add a bit of whole grain mustard to give you that punch.
So you've got flavour, you've got texture, you've got healthiness, you've got just fillingness. It's wonderful.
And we've just seasoned to taste. So it's a really important point actually, as you go, taste, season, and then taste again. Because if you don't taste your food, how do you know what it tastes like?
Yeah, some people might like a little bit more salt, some people might like a little bit more pepper, some people might want some heat. You could easily throw some chili flakes.
Yeah, although it wouldn't be very traditional for a fish pie.
That's true, that's very true.
I mean, this is like proper British hearty comfort food. And that was a quick job there.
That was smooth. That was smooth. It kind of just looks like a well-made hotel bed.
Using a fork on the top is gonna help create ridges, and that's gonna give you those little brown crispy bits on top.
And here we go. So you cut the top and you sort of make sure that you've got a wonderful slice, get the spoon in there, pull it all up, be careful not to spill anything, pop it on the plate with some peas, and ladies and gentlemen, you are on to a winner.
Now, if you are a heathen, you can have tomato ketchup with this, although your mum might tell you off, because it's a bit naughty.
Vegan tartar.
Prue Leith would tell you off.
Yeah, she would.
She knows,
but she's allowed.
We literally cooked this for her at her house.
Yeah, her house is very nice. She's a wonderful woman. If you don't know Prue Leith, go check her out.
Next up, we're gonna make one of our famous dishes. This is the Bosh chili, but we're gonna make it with some banging nachos.
I mean, our ultimate chili is the ultimate chili. If you've never made it before, you need to right that wrong and get it made. And once you've made the chili, couple it with nachos, and goodness, you are on to a winner.
So, I mean, we've cooked this so many times I can't even remember. But the key part about this dish is we're using mushrooms instead of mince. So these mushrooms are kind of like a meat. They are essentially minced mushrooms.
Yeah, mushrooms are the new meat. I mean, with mushrooms, what can you do? You can make bacon, you can make scallops, you can make chicken, you can make pork, and in this instance, you can make beef.
Exactly. So we've browned off those mushrooms, taken them away, we kind of sweated off all of that moisture, and now we're into normal chili territory.
Now, like we always say, from the ground up, okay? You need to build that flavour right from the bottom all the way to the top, and you do that by layering.
Layering those flavours, we want to get that umami in there, that flavour, that meaty flavour, but we don't eat meat anymore. So we use soy sauce, we use Marmite, we use some dark chocolate in here, which is kind of traditional. Bit of cinnamon, bit of bay leaf, salt, pepper, so many layers. You're gonna love it.
So many good things are happening right now. I mean, goodness gracious me. Like the chili, I think, actually, you know what, right? If you're talking about like death row dinner.
Death row dinner, yeah, okay.
Chili might be on there.
Wow. How many things are you allowed on your death row
Well,
dinner?
I reckon because it's your death row dinner, you'll be allowed a platter. Like, not just a platter,
cool.
like a complete spread. Right, and I'd have a decent bowl of chili.
Go for the Bosch smorgasbord.
Oh.
Everything, every dish that's in Bosch Book 1.
Oh, yes.
Imagine, you'd eat yourself to death.
I'm here clicking my fingers because I think that's a great idea. The Bosch smorgasbord for death row dinner.
Maybe that's a challenge we should do on YouTube, where we literally lay out every dish we've ever made for Bosch, and we just sit there and eat it.
Oh goodness, that's quite a lot.
We've got the Bosch challenge.
We might have to do it with all of our mates.
Can we come up with a good Bosch challenge?
Yeah, if you have a good idea for a Bosch challenge, let us know in the comments below, and you never know, we might take you up on the offer.
So, of course, to that chili, we have added our mushrooms, we've added some kidney beans, a little bit of maple syrup for sweetness, and the secret trick is some dark chocolate, which is naturally vegan. That's gonna add some lovely umami, rounded, chocolatey flavor.
Now, we've got brand new chili as well, you know, and the brand new chili is featuring in our 5th book, Speedy Vegan, and we use a little bit of coffee in there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great idea.
And we actually make like a little broth, don't we?
Yes.
Super speedy. But this is a labor of love, this recipe. You're gonna simmer that down and those flavors are gonna develop to perfection.
Now, if you're gonna make yourself a really nice bowl of tortilla chips, the sort of thing that you would have at a really posh cinema, yeah, make sure you build in layers, like boom, 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 all the way.
And of course, this is a great way to use your leftover chili. So this is like game night fodder. Oh. Although we're not watching many games at the moment because no one's playing anything.
It's the early June 2020. We're coming on the back end of COVID, so there's not been any games for ages.
No, but we can play board games like Monopoly and eat nachos. So that's good enough for us.
Yeah, and I tell you what, salsa and guacamole and all that stuff together. Woo!
Salsa.
Salsa.
Are you offering?
Salsa, salsa, baby, dancing, dancing now.
Banging nachos, they are absolutely incredible. That chili is to die for. If you haven't made our Bosch chili, you really, really need to.
Yeah, you really need to. And what's more, you need to make the next recipe, because the next recipe is our big burrito cake. It's big, it's boshy, and it's crazy.
So we basically took all of the ingredients of a burrito, wrapped them in tortillas, kind of like a crunch wrap from Taco Bell, and this is what you get, the big burrito cake.
Look like a slice of cake, that. It genuinely looked like a big slice of cake.
Hence the name.
Exactly.
It's not really a cake though, is it?
Not really, it's kind of just like a big disc-shaped burrito that's kind of fat.
But it is a lot of fun to make. It's the kind of thing you could do with your kids, and it's just ridiculous, but it also tastes amazing.
Oh, and sweet potatoes are going to give it some real body and some real bite, and it's going to make you feel full at the end of it.
Absolutely. So think about these spices that we're now adding into this bowl, right? We've got all of those kind of Cajun spices, those burrito spices to make an absolutely gorgeous rub. That's gonna go all over our onion and peppers. So we've kind of got a fajita spice mix going on here.
Very traditional, but not very traditional at all.
In this sense, anyway. Exactly. Now, we obviously don't want to eat those bad boys raw, so we're gonna just roast those off in the oven. They won't take too long, maybe like 15, 20 minutes.
Let the oven do the work.
Always.
Yeah, always.
Get one in the oven.
Get it in the oven, bake those bad boys down.
So next up, we've got that in the oven. It's time to move on with the next bit of our recipe. Which
basically is rice, and you need that rice in there to give it some bulk. And also I find with rice, in a usual burrito, it kind of gives the whole thing a bit of structure.
Yeah, I mean, you can obviously leave it out, like if you're on a kind of low carb tip.
No.
But for this, the rice and peas, it's kind of essential for the body. But also it's good for protein. Rice and peas together, that's complete protein. Well worth putting in there.
And a bit of Tabasco sauce and cumin is complete flavour. So you, with all those things together in this pan, you could eat that as your dinner on its own.
Well, and for me, it's all about that fresh coriander.
Yeah.
Like the minute you put fresh coriander into anything, for me, the flavour just elevates.
Yeah, and now what we've got is our spread. And this is where the truly fun part happens. So if you do have children, then get them involved right now, because they're going to be like, yeah, I want to make that too.
Right, what are we doing here? This is mad. So you're laying those out
We're
all
creating
round.
the cake by folding over those tortillas, and we've like bottomed off the tortilla with another tortilla. Then we've got the rice, and then what's going in next? Ooh, it's a bit of vegan cheese. Make sure you get the stuff that actually melts.
The good, we went for the smoky one.
Yum, yum, yum.
We won't mention the brand name, but it's really good.
Yeah, it's so good. Now, sweet potatoes will give it again a little bit of structure, and making sure that as you slice it, every single slice gets a little bit of goodness.
A key tip as you're laying down your layers here is to just press down. You want this to be as compact and firm as possible so that it kind of stays together when you cut into it later on.
I mean, it looks good. It looks
mad.
insane.
It looks mad, but it's worth doing.
It is so worth doing, and the cherry tomatoes are really worth putting in there as well because they just offer up a little bit of freshness. Put a lid on it, baby.
Put a lid on it. So obviously we fast forwarded through the layers, but you know, this is the point when you get to freestyle a little bit.
And then what you do here, you fold it over, that water acts like a glue, and make sure you give it a good old press, and then bang that pan into the oven, but make sure you use an oven ready pan.
Absolutely. And we're going to turn it over when we take it out. You'll see the base, now the top, has nicely browned. And that is ready to be chopped into.
It's a good colour.
It's a beautiful colour.
It's like it's been to the beach in July the 23rd, Torremolinos. That's where it was.
It's like me with a tan.
Exactly.
And that is a beautiful thing. You're gonna eat that. Make sure you've got a little bit of guac or salsa or something handy for a dip. And this is just gonna surprise your eyes, tickle your taste buds, and wibble your wobble.
I mean, it's basically quite weird. It's very, very boshy. It's the sort of thing that you wouldn't expect to see anywhere, but you would love to see everywhere. And it's dessert, you know, it's the end of the recipe. It's the whole video just wouldn't be complete without this.
So this is our New York style cheesecake. This took us a long time to make, a long time to perfect, and it will take you a while to make, but it's totally worth it.
It's so solid. Look at that end shot just there. It was amazing. But no cheesecake would be a proper cheesecake without a decent biscuit base.
Absolutely. So you can use whatever biscuits you've got hanging around. We kind of like to use maybe Lotus or some ginger biscuits, some wholemeal biscuits, but adding that to your base is just going to make it taste wonderful.
Yeah, man. And do you know what I reckon would be quite cool there?
What's that?
Those ginger biscuits, like you say, I think it's a great shout.
Yeah, totally. You should even do Oreos.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
And the key thing is you want to press it down hard, right? Like as we're doing right there. That moistness is going to help it firm up. And yeah, just take your time.
Now you bake that off for 15 to 25 minutes and it basically turns it into a huge biscuit. And once you've done that, it's white chocolate time. Now white chocolate, vegan white chocolate, isn't that easy to find,
no,
but
it's not.
Becoming easier.
Yeah, so hunt down that vegan stuff. Do you remember when we made this on the TV show? It was a bit of a, I think we messed this one up.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a fact. But you know what? Like, all's well that ends well, and with a little bit of vigour and a little bit of determination, you get there in the end.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had a team of like 10 people around and like forgot to put in the flour.
But we didn't forget to put in the tofu here. Now, tofu is quite a weird ingredient, but it just offers up that real nice creamy texture.
Well, really, the tofu is the secret. Those cashews are going to blitz to a cream. The tofu is going to add more creaminess, more kind of richness. And then, of course, we've got that white chocolate as well. Yeah,
so that white chocolate that you're putting on top of the biscuit base there is going to act as kind of like a stopgap. So the biscuit base doesn't get too soft again.
It's like when you're like tarmac in the roof or whatever.
Exactly.
So you pop that on first, you let that chill for a minute, and then we're going to add all of that mix, that cheesecake mix on top.
It looks good. It looks great.
Fantastic.
I mean, I love those shots where everything just like cascades down like a waterfall of food.
Now that's going to get baked, and while that's baking, we'll make a kind of nice sugary strawberry mix. The key here is not to really let the strawberries warm too much in that pan. They just want to soften ever so slightly.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, because you want to like keep the strawberries intact because you want them to sing. You want the strawberries to do their own job. Look at how good this looks now.
So that cheesecake is out of the oven. We've let it chill for a long time. It's really important to properly let it chill. And then we're going to pop our strawberries on top, to make something that's absolutely beautiful.
And the best thing about this cheesecake is the way that it's solid, you know? It's like, it's a firm cheesecake. It looks exactly as the sort of stuff that you'd expect to see in a New York deli, hence the name New York Cheesecake. I'm proud of this.
Now, we would recommend you eat this straight away once you've chilled it, because that is gonna stay nice and firm, and it's so, so delicious.
And if you're gonna go full New York, you might as well make a milkshake with loads of dairy-free squirty cream all over the top.
They were some delicious recipes. We hope you enjoyed them. Do let us know your thoughts down in the comments below.
Oh my goodness me. If your taste buds aren't tingled, I don't know what's wrong.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Hit that subscribe button. We make recipes like this almost every day. You can get all these recipes at bosh.tv or in our cookbooks, and we're gonna love you and leave you.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
See ya.